Shout out to the nation, everybody. It's your girl, Deanna Diaz, business coach and entrepreneur. And today I am blessed to have the beautiful, lovely Miss Tracy on the line today. Hi,
Hi, Deanna. How are you?
Tracy. I'm good. Thank you so much for entertaining me with your time today because I
Oh, no
know it's
problem.
so valuable, so precious. So go ahead and tell the people a little bit about you, who you are, and what you do.
So, my name is Tracy Thorpe Scott. I am a master's level clinician for counseling, and I am also a life optimization coach. So, what I do is help people who are frustrated with where they are in their life in regard to themselves, personally or professionally, to get past the blocks that are keeping them stuck.
Mm, optimization. I like that word. Okay. So how did you get into this? How did you figure that this was your calling?
Well, it actually wasn't focused on adults when I started. When I was 24 years old, I remember I had just moved to Pittsburgh and I'm driving down Center Avenue and I see two young ladies walking down the street. They're middle schoolers. They look like I probably did in middle school. And my immediate thought then was I wanted to pull over and talk to them and kind of help guide them through what it would be like growing up, right? With the knowledge that I had then.
Mm.
And the thought that followed that was, that's not going to pay no bills. And so the dream kind of lived with me, but I didn't do anything with it for probably another 20 years. I worked in corporate America, and my interest even in corporate America was to do work that helped people in some way, form, or fashion. But in 2005 ish, I started coaching and being the coordinator for Kingsley Association's Little League football program.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And from there, because the girls trusted me as their coach, I said, oh, I could probably influence them in other ways as well. So I created a curriculum that I call I Rise, using Maya Angelou's Phenomenal Woman and Still I Rise poems as the backdrop for the curriculum. And I tested it on some of my cheerleaders, and then it just took off from there. I uh, did a program for Hosanna House, the iRise program for Hosanna House after school program, starting in 2016. And then I picked up a local charter school as a site for the program as well in 2017, 2018. And I've been there ever since.
Oh, that is awesome. Okay, so you had your little test subjects, didn't even know it. They didn't
Yep,
even know.
yep.
So let's rewind a little bit. You moved to Pittsburgh when you were 24. Where were you prior to that, and what were you doing?
I'm from Philadelphia originally. And
Atlanta.
so, and so I went to college at IUP. I received my bachelor's and my MBA there. And I knew I had no intention on going back to Philadelphia. Philadelphia is not the city for me.
Mm.
And so I had met a lot of people from Pittsburgh, had a chance to visit. And so after I graduated, I came here. And my interest, of course, right after college was to get a job and make some money.
Mhm.
And so that's what I did. I worked um, 1 month for Enterprise Rent a Car, and then I
Oh.
told them I'm not going to be dressed up washing cars. Uh,
Okay. Is that what they really had you doing?
that is what they had me doing as a manager trainee, and I said, "Oh no, not in my shoes! You got to be kidding me!"
Listen, wow.
Yes. So then I went to on to work for Philip Morris USA. It's a company that make Marlboro cigarettes. So I was a rep selling cigarettes, even though I don't smoke.
Okay, I was about to ask you that.
And they would actually send us 3 free cartons of cigarettes every month. And I'm like, I don't smoke. So after I left there, I worked for PepsiCo, And I also worked for Philip Morris USA. I'm sorry, Procter and Gamble as a pharmaceutical rep for 10 years.
Okay.
And at the close of my career, I worked in marketing for senior living communities. So I worked in marketing I was the marketing director for Shenley, which is a nursing home. Well, independent, no, they're not independent living, personal living and
Okay.
dementia over on Baum Boulevard.
Okay.
And then I also worked for another place in West Mifflin in marketing.
Okay. Wow. So you do have that nice, thick background.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
awesome. Okay. So you said something, this phrase, you said close of your career. Please explain that transition because I just recently made that transition,
Yes.
government federal field to being solely independent. So, being that you mentioned that, please explain your version of how you closed your career.
Well, I'm actually 3 days from my fifth celebration of the close of my career. August 26th. I have it on my calendar.
No, that's right. I know that's right.
Yeah. So I was working for the senior living community in West Mifflin, and I was doing my business on the side. So like I said, mentioned earlier, I started doing my after school program at Hosanna House in 2016. I picked up the charter school in 2017, 2018. I also, which I didn't mention, what became an adjunct professor at CCAC. So the company that I was working for, it pushed me to the limit, right?
Okay.
And I
Okay.
had been saying for most of my life that I wanted to work because I wanted to, not because I had to,
Okay.
right? It's a different experience,
It is.
right?
It
And
is.
I've also always preached that you should take a job because you want to do it, not just to make money. Because when you do it just for money, most times you end up miserable.
Yeah. Super miserable.
Absolutely. So I was approaching miserableness in that job. And so I was trying to think about how do I get out of this? And I was scared to make the leap.
Mm.
So many butterflies in my belly.
Mhm.
So I got hooked up with CCAC, which would give me have some regular income coming in as an adjunct professor, and I solidified as much as I could through my own business some other minor contracts. So while I wouldn't be making what I had been making, I would be doing enough to sustain myself and my family.
Right. Okay.
Right. And at the same time, and I think this was the greatest push, the woman who had been my direct supervisor was resigning,
Mhm.
and if she was a great buffer from a truly jacked up corporate company, and so I said, if she's gone, I'm
I'm
gone.
yeah.
So that's really. It seemed like the universe aligned
Mhm.
to provide the space and opportunity for me to make the leap. Because I really felt like if I didn't do it then, I probably never would have done it.
Okay. Right. And that's how I felt about me taking that leap as well. So now what you said ties into another question that I have. You said for 20 years you didn't follow your dream. And I
Mhm,
know you mentioned fear. Within that 20 years,
mhm.
what was going on and how bad did it pull on you and gnaw on you knowing that you were going through all those years and didn't do what you wanted to do?
Well, um, quite frankly, I just pushed it down.
Mm,
As many of us do, when we feel like we can't do what we want to do, we just push it down. Um, and we may have a constant level of discontent,
Mm-hmm.
but we live with it,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the fear of not being able to provide for my family. So I was the first in many instances for my family. I was the first one to go to college. I was the first one to graduate from college. Um, Although my parents were entrepreneurs
Okay.
when I was probably in middle school, early middle school. But at that stage, I had moved away from home and I really didn't have anybody to support me in taking the chance to be an entrepreneur. It
Gotcha.
really wasn't, even though I was fearful of doing it because I didn't think it would make money, it wasn't until my daughter, my oldest daughter, was graduating. No, she was in college, and we were talking about her major. And she said, I want to be an entrepreneur. I don't want to work for anybody. And that it brought it full circle to me, you
Yeah.
know. So she went to school in 2015.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what was my driver.
Okay.
Hearing her say that she wanted to be an entrepreneur, I said, I got to do this first. I got to, I have to put myself on the line so that
Mm.
I can give her feedback
Mm.
on how to be successful. Like if any one of us is going to fail,
It's
let
gonna
it be
be
me first.
yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I wanted to do that so that I could give her a good basis of information to be able to launch her own businesses successfully. But fear, definitely, fear of not being able to sustain myself is really what kept me from making the leap.
Okay. No, that's legit. That is totally legit. A lot of people go into it blindly and then
Hmm.
fall so hard.
Hmm.
And then some people they need that hard rock to get pushed back up, And I just if I ain't got to go that route, then I just don't want to go that route.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely. I mean, there was a lot of self doubt, and because I had the business knowledge, my
mhm,
God, I worked in sales and marketing for Fortune 500 companies.
that's it right there.
Exactly. So I saw what they did, and I knew I could do it, but I would always talk myself out of it. And so that's also what I seek to help other people do, right? Because a lot of people want to do something different with them with their lives, but the fear of not being able to sustain themselves financially keeps them from doing it. And so part of my life optimization coaching is to help people dig into themselves and find the reserves internally to
Yes,
know that they can. And I'm
yes,
an accountability partner that keeps you moving forward.
yes. Like, let's go. What we doing?
Listen,
What we doing?
we ain't playing no games.
At all. At all. Okay. I love it. So you got your family. Talk about your family. Tell me a little bit about your family.
I am married. My husband and I have been together almost as long as I've been in Pittsburgh. But I'm gonna add that caveat on and off because we didn't have some,
Okay, life happens. You know what I'm saying? Life happens. Okay.
And I have a bonus son
Okay.
who I've known since he was 2. And I have 2 daughters. My husband and I have 2 daughters as well. So they are 26 and 14.
And 14.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a little reset. A
Ju-
little reset for you.
Just a little bit. But
Oh,
she keeps me young. She keeps me grounded.
that's what they do. Mine is 5, so she keeps me.
On your toes.
Yeah, all of that. I look at myself in the mirror and I see me. When she sees me, I just think she sees bounce house, play,
Mhm.
you know.
Yes, absolutely.
But I'm like, all right,
And
okay,
you got to be ready for when she's ready.
that part. Part, yes, and that is definitely my best friend. Kids definitely are a motivating factor for sure. When you are a good parent, kids are a motivating factor. I don't care what nobody says. And I always, I lost my mom in 2015, and I just be praying if, Lord, If nothing else, let her go into heaven because for being a good mom, just
Yes.
for protecting me. If nothing else, please just bless her for her being an outstanding mother and doing everything that she had to do to provide and push me. So, there's that on that. All right. So now how would one go about booking a session with you?
So I do a complimentary consultation. It's a half an hour. It's usually via Zoom unless you are in the Pittsburgh area. And then you can come into the office for that 30-minute complimentary consultation.
Wait, hold
And
on. I gotta say something. Her office is real nice, y'all. It's real inviting. It smells good. The lighting is bomb, and she got nice furniture. I'll get there. But okay, I'm sorry.
thank you. Um, and so the reason behind the complimentary consultation is I want you to get a sense of what it's like to work with me. And I want to get a sense of who you are and whether I can work with you, right? We have to be able to build a trusting relationship
Mhm.
for the partnership, the coaching to be successful. And so I want to understand what is going on with you and what might potentially be your blockers, and to know whether or not they are something that is in my wheelhouse. Because sometimes people present to me and I feel like they may need therapy more right now than they do. And while I have a counseling background and I use counseling modalities in my coaching, it
Mhm.
is generally coaching. I'm looking for how to get you from where you are right now to where you want to go. And so, absolutely. And so, the complimentary consultation is what I found is really helpful in figuring out who is the right client to partner with. Because I don't want to waste your time and I don't want you to waste my time.
Right. Right. And I'm glad that you brought that up because people be thinking, especially when they start out, that I just have to put everybody on my plate.
Mhm.
Like when you sit down and eat and you go to a buffet, you're not picking up everything off the buffet because it don't work for you.
It don't work for you. So, you're very selective
Yep.
about what you like to eat, right? And
Right.
what looks good to you, right?
Right.
And so I really only want to work with people who are ready,
Mm-hmm.
who are really ready and committed to making change in their lives. What I the life that I live now is very, very different than it was 6, 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mostly because of the work that I put in.
Mm.
So it's not something that magically happens, like you live this better life all of a sudden, right? I put in real work to,
Okay.
and so that's what I'm looking for people that I partner with is people who are willing to put in real work.
Exactly. You can't do the work for them. You need to come ready. Ready,
Exactly.
ready for war.
That's
Okay.
and I try to give people the visualization, like um, LeBron James, um, um, Michael Jordan. They were all coached. The coaches didn't play the game,
Mm.
but the coaches helped them elevate their game, right?
Mhm.
So they had the natural talent, but the coaches helped them to take their talent to a new level. And so
Mhm.
that's what I'm hoping to do with the people that I partner with. I believe everybody has everything that they need to be successful. They don't just always know how to utilize it effectively. And so that's what I'm here to do.
And another great thing about coaches too is that most of the times coaches they know the rules, right? They know the rules and they can actually watch you play the game.
Yes.
They looking at defense and offense where you just only looking at the position that you in.
Exactly. You have tunnel vision where we see the whole picture. And I love listening to people to hear how they're blocking themselves without even knowing that they're blocking themselves.
Yes, yes. Okay. My interviews only last 20 minutes, gosh darn it. And we almost pushing it. Y'all know what to do. Y'all need to reach Miss Tracy. Miss Tracy, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I am TTS Transforms. I had to remember TTS Transforms on Instagram and Facebook. And you can find me under Tracy Thorpe Scott on LinkedIn. And if you want to sign up for a consultation, you can go to www.ttstransforms.com.
Okay, awesome. Well, y'all heard that, and you can also get it in the description bar below. I would like to thank you, Miss Tracy, for being
You're very
on
welcome.
Talk today. It was awesome. And everybody else, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you got something to say you want to ask in the description bar, please do so. Whatever content you want to see more of, I'm here for you. Thank you so much. God bless, and I will see you on the next episode of Boss Talk.
Thank you.